Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Derek here, and we are going to be reacting to another episode of Lucifer. This is season 5 episode 3. It's called Diablo. Yeah, Spanish. What happened last time on Lucifer? Before we jump into it though, please consider leaving a like on the video and please consider subscribing. That helps so much. Love you guys. But last time, the case of the week was solving a murder of a astronaut. I mean, she wasn't really an astronaut, she was a scientist, and they were doing a Mars mission experiment. Turns out the wife of one of the previous mission people killed her because she thought he was having an affair with her. That wraps that part up. But the main, actual dramatic story that was happening was that Michael was up and he was pretending to be Lucifer. And he was, tricking Chloe and everyone else into thinking that he's Lucifer because he just wants to, he wants to take over his life and kind of just screw it up because he assumes that if he does that, then Lucifer will come back up and show his true colors, so to speak. And so he's lying the whole time that they're doing this thing. He's just acting very much not like himself, and people are noticing, and Chloe's noticing, and you spend the whole episode wondering, is Chloe gonna figure it out? Does she know? Does she already know, and is she just playing him right now? The scene where she is just so unbelievably, outwardly horny towards him. It was outrageous. It was insane. It was crazy. But then, at the end, there was a brief moment. I don't know how she'll feel about Maze, because she somewhat participated in that charade. But then pretty much everyone found out that it was not Lucifer, but it was Michael. She shoots him a bunch of times because she takes him up and she's like, "Oh, I still love you." And she catches him in that thing where he was like, "Oh, I meant it too. I love you." And she's like, "Yeah, you didn't say that." Pop, pop, pop. And then Amenadiel finds out and he's like, well, I think he found out earlier, but he confronts him. He's like, "Yo, bro, you're not as cool as Lucifer. Go back to where you came from. Why would you want to hang out here when, heaven exists? What are you doing, pal? Everything up there is so much better. Quit trying to use people's fears against them." And so he goes, and then he goes down to hell, and he's like, "Yo, Lucifer, my dude, we got to talk." So I assume maybe Lucifer will be coming back, the real Lucifer will be reappearing in the mortal world this episode, which will be pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see, you've seen Michael pretend to be Lucifer. You've seen Michael be Michael. Now it's just time to see Lucifer be Lucifer, being genuine. So that'll be exciting. I'm excited. Yeah. But again, before we jump into it, please consider leaving a like on the video and please consider subscribing if you want to see more. Other than that, let's jump into season 5. Forgot what season we were on. Season 5, episode 3, Diablo.
So you're telling me that my dickhead twin showed up on Earth, assumed my identity, and then wreaked all sorts of havoc on my life?
That about covers it, yes. Yeah. Is
Fair.
there somewhere else that we can talk?
I don't like having private conversations.
Carnival?
And Kenneth does. Michael needles people's fears is what he does. But we also know he's all bark and no bite. Don't you remember growing up? He'd get under your skin with one of his schemes, then you'd give him one of your atomic wedgies, and that'd be that.
I don't think a wedgie is going to do it this time. Things have...
Not even an atomic wedgie? Come on, dude.
Last
insane.
time I was there, Michael had managed to seat himself at Father's right hand.
Dad's talking to him.
Stronger than you think, Lucy.
That's
Michael's become
it's probably not good, right?
untouchable in the Silver City.
Hello, detective.
No, no, get the hell out of here. If you didn't understand the first 4 times I shot you, I will gladly shoot you again, Michael.
It's me. It's Lucifer.
Do you really expect me to fall for that again?
Kakuza, come here, come here. Oh, it's good to see you again. Tell me, what is it you desire?
I want to figure out how to disable the cameras and evidence so I can nap in there.
Oh, naughty you.
Quality decision.
I know.
I love you, Kakuza.
It's really you.
Yeah, girl.
How?
It's a funny story.
He can just
actually.
come up whenever he
So
wants.
Here I was in hell, and
Well, that's a relief because he said something so insane obviously knew it had to be a lie.
did he claim he's friends with Elvis? Because for one, the king's still alive, and I'm the only one who knows where.
No, he told me, get this, he told me that I was a gift from God. it's sweet. I mean,
Awkward.
that's crazy.
Yikes, bro.
It's
It's
not true.
just a tiny bit accurate. Just like
Christopher, I am not
just a little tiny bit.
a gift from God made just for you, right?
Yes.
Un poco.
And I know how it sounds, but trust me, when my mum told me,
Your mom told you. Your mom told. What? Over a year ago? You've kept this the whole time?
back then, you didn't
It's not like you
believe in
just bring that
such
up in
things.
conversation.
Anyway, my detective, you're
Yes,
the only
yes,
reason
yes.
I'm here.
Apparently, you're the only reason I'm here. So I'm gonna do my job that I chose. And don't you have somewhere to be?
Yeah, that's probably a rough thing. Kind of brings in the thought process of like free will, and whether or not her entire existence is like preordained, which that's a theological rabbit hole in and of itself. So we won't get into that right now.
Hello? I know that man.
Really?
Yes, that's Matt Owens. I did him a favor a couple of years ago to help get his career started as a TV writer.
That does sound like our victim.
Lieutenant Diablo. That's nice. I like that. It's just a play on his actual
Show that you helped Matt.
stuff that he does.
But really, I should share this with my partner. Where is she? Detective Dancer?
Sorry, Diablo. I was just pumping a suspect for leads. Oh, is that accommodation for you?
If anyone deserves this, it's a woman who's gone from the stripper pole to the detective pool in just 3 years.
Oh dear.
But they could have given it a once-over. It's a bit tarnished.
Don't worry, Diablo. You know I'll polish your beauty anytime.
Get out of here.
I wear what he gives me, go where he tells me.
That sounds like
Does
motive.
that bother you at all? That you have no say in what your character does or says?
Are you kidding? I'm a lead in a hit show. And you know, there are strippers out there considering becoming detectives now. Oh. I
Wow.
have a role model.
Oh, lovely.
Matt gave me that.
Wonder how many, what the numbers are on that.
I've been doing this job for 7 episodes now, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's why people kill.
Been doing this for 7 episodes.
For something you want to find the killer, figure out their yearning.
Right. Isn't there a better word for that?
No.
Desire.
So, okay. Who do you think?
Do they seem familiar to you?
No, not at all. I don't know what he would be thinking that they would be similar to, even in the smallest regard.
I've written 100 episodes of TV murder mysteries, and I got the carpal tunnel to prove it. Motive, opportunity, it adds up.
Well, you know the math on this. I can see why Matt put you in charge.
You got a network show that's a hit, suddenly everybody at the studio takes an interest.
My
Everybody wants a piece of it. And the second the ratings
first
dip,
guess is that it was
everyone
the
wants someone
stripper.
to blame.
Yo, he's got to be so mad.
Michael,
That wasn't
all
Michael.
the things you've done to hurt me, this might cut the deepest. Really using your blade? Mazakin, please, let me explain. Mazakin!
Is he better at fighting than she is? Dang.
You went to hell without me. You left me.
No, I didn't, Mazakin. You're not my servant anymore. By all means, you're welcome to join me.
I don't have wings, you idiot.
Well, Amenadiel does. Why didn't you just ask him to fly you down there?
What if it was that simple? I don't think it was the fact that, like,
Like to stab me?
yeah, that she just had to find another route to get there. I think it was that, like, you're almost partners in that situation.
Freeze! LAPD! Drop the gun!
But I'm a real cop.
Yo, you're lucky you're white, lady.
That's a prop.
You were about to get clapped.
What are you two doing here?
Trying to solve the case, of course. We can do it on TV. Why not in real life?
And how did you find out? What are you doing with the city?
Well, he was gonna come with or without me, and at least if I'm here, I can keep him safe.
I didn't realize you two were this close.
Oh, yeah. And if something does happen to him, our show dies for real. And I cannot go through another pilot season.
I think it was her. I think it was her.
Dude had a glamorous job, tons of money, and he ate Panda Express like 6 times a week.
Yo, Panda Express is
People are who
good.
they are, I guess.
I used to eat Panda Express like 3 times a
Do you have
week.
any idea of predestination? Where you're forced to walk a path that's already laid out for you?
Theology, let's go.
My childhood and family backgrounds run by criminals and dirtbags.
Let's talk about Calvinism versus Arminianism.
But instead,
He's dead too?
oh man.
Yo. Maybe it wasn't the stripper then. She said if anything happens to him.
Nobody noticed him missing since lunch. I mean, this man is the entire show.
I don't know.
None of these people.
Maybe it is the maybe it is the stripper being like, I can do this on my own. I'm a strong, independent woman
With the same instrument, if we can find the murder
who
weapon,
makes her own theological choices.
Please, tell the girls to swap their G-strings for evening gowns tomorrow night.
Wow. It's like looking into a mirror.
Of course, my bitch.
I think what you're struggling with is a fear of abandonment. It's completely normal. Because
No, what's this?
That's blood.
Research files for cases on the show. Excuse me, that's private.
Vape pans? Ooh, that's a murder weapon.
Appears that someone's been taking their research a little too seriously.
That is not mine. I didn't put that there.
Really?
Terry Bellwood, you're under arrest.
Well, are you serious? This is ridiculous.
I don't think it was. My guess is it was the stripper.
Is it all bullshit? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I don't care. Because losing Charlotte made me realize we have so little control over our lives.
I'll take the bracelet.
Wow.
Wait,
Wow.
really?
Oh, yes, really.
Wow. Bracelet bros.
Because you need to want it.
Now, just give me the damn thing.
Get
Give
it.
me the damn thing.
What is this?
I can't believe you pulled it off, Diablo. We made it back to Earth piloting a hijacked space shuttle. Insane.
You could say that,
Again, Dancer, a devil in the heavens. With crime, it must be punished.
Samuel, the original actor playing Diablo is dead, not you. Please, can we just give it a bit of life?
Just set me up for the next line, okay?
She only exists to serve Diablo. So what's the secret to getting up every day, knowing everything you do and say is only servicing another person?
Do you think there's a secret? It's literally hell on earth. Saying those
Okay, it was
lines,
her.
wearing
Yep.
those clothes.
It was her.
Thank God it's over. Now I can really push myself. There's
Yo, you can't pull your gun on someone half a foot away from them so they can knock it out of your hands.
freedom.
I'm a genius. I knew it was her.
I'm not spending the next 6 seasons with my main prop as a stripper pole.
Wow.
Here's if Lucifer left me, right? Chloe left me.
Eve left you.
And she left me. Why'd she leave me? Eve.
When you show our face again.
Michael.
Brother. Welcome home.
Let's fight. Fight night at the Roxbury.
Now you see, that is the best part. All I did was plant the idea. You're the one who chose to do it. You still get to keep all the blame yourself. Your lies are so tedious, Michael. Not as tedious as your denial. You're just Samael. Stop calling me that. All right? Why don't I call you what you know you really are? Unworthy.
Ooh. Them's fighting words, Michael. You a one-handed gimp. Ooh. That was a little spinny move right there. Like, isn't this not going to do anything to either of them? You got red bottoms. You got bloody shoes. That would actually hurt really bad. As with that. Ooh. Probably a little easier to differentiate between the two of them now.
I am just a person, Lucifer.
Yeah.
Just a
You're not
person
just a
who is
person.
already dealing with the fact that I'm in love with the devil, and then I find out that I was made to feel that way. That my life isn't my own, so I am sorry if your brother is a jerk to you sometimes.
Yeah, well, she's a little upset. Justifiably, you know.
I thought what
That's
we had
it's a
was real.
weighty thing. Heavy. Very, very heavy on your heart.
Like the secret that he kept from Chloe, and the one that he's keeping from you.
What secret?
Yeah.
I can't tell you that. You won't believe me, because I'm a liar, right?
Interesting. What could Maze's secret be? I don't actually know. Okay. Quality episode. Very fraught with conflict. Yeah. Things did not... Okay. First of all, I want to say I guessed the killer. I guessed the killer early on, and I was very confident in my decision, and I got it right. So props to me for that one. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the case itself. Fairly interesting, if not fairly predictable case. You know, the cases of the week on this show in particular, they never have a ton of depth to them. They're never like super difficult to figure out. These aren't cases that are gonna be lasting weeks on end. Like, oh, who is this? Like, who killed the bad guy, or who's the bad guy that killed the person, or whatever. Like, they typically always get resolved within the week, but they always connect back to the main storyline. I liked that it was, you know, a meta episode where they're on a TV set, essentially on their own TV set. It's like the episode when Supernatural, when they went onto the set of Supernatural and they got to see, you know, them, you know, portraying the actors and all that. You know, it's always fun to see that. The little, probably tons and tons of inside jokes they throw in there just for actors and things like that, or people who are familiar with set life, I assume. But so the head showrunner's killed, and you could kind of tell right away, like, there's one specific person on this set who's just really getting a raw deal, even though she's kind of, you know, she's portraying to be like, oh, I was rescued from stripperhood or whatever to be a detective. Like, whoa, I'm a role model. But it's like, especially with the way like culture is viewing like how culture views sex work now, how there's, you know, somewhat of a stigma being taken away from it. I don't know if pushing and especially with the audience that the show Lucifer has, I don't know if pushing the idea that you know, this woman needed to be rescued from being a stripper would have gone over super well with the audience. So you already know when she's talking about like, oh, like, thank God there are so many strippers who are trying to be detectives. You're like, okay, something's a little up right now. There's no way you're completely happy with the role you've been given. And since they're tying direct parallels to the characters in, like, the characters we know, you know that Chloe is not having a fun time right now. So you can, you know, parallels don't just go one way, they go both ways. So you could tell as soon as you know Chloe's not having a great time with her situation, you can make that connection that the actor who is supposedly portraying her is also not going to be having a fun time. But it is interesting how, like, just how similar everything was. And then, yeah, so the main showrunner's killed, and then, you know, you would think shut down production. A lot of shows would probably actually like fully shut down for a while. It'd be a decent chunk of time. But no, they soldier on. They're like, yeah, we got to do it for him. He's a cool man. And the number 2 gets put in charge. And you know, everything's going great again. But then the girl says, oh, like, this guy, like, if anything happened to him, you know, I'd be done. Like, I cannot go through pilot season again. And it's like, yeah. It's like you're being a little too obvious that you love this job, so it's clear you clearly don't like it here, and you're definitely the murderer. And you know, some of the parts, like her impersonating the second in command showrunner, you know, I didn't necessarily pick up on that. I guess that was a big clue for Chloe, but you know, that didn't really come into my deductions of who did it. And in the end, you know, that person's role wasn't terribly important anyway. Let's talk about the actual meat and potatoes, though. So, Lucifer's back, and he's like, yo, Chloe, what's up, girl? Let's go make out in the interrogation room. And she's like, oh my gosh, you would not believe all the crazy stories Michael is telling me. He said that I was a gift from God, like a literal gift. I was made to be your plaything. Isn't that crazy? And he's just like, oof. Mega oof. Yeah, so I was gonna tell you a year ago, but it's true. You were literally made for whatever I wanted. And it's like, oh, like, come on, dude. Like, and like, he can't lie. He's not gonna be like, oh, no. That's that. Don't worry about that. That's not true. Because it is true. As far as he believes. So it's like, oof, mega oof. And you can understand. I feel like if anyone watching this episode is like not at least super empathetic towards Chloe, like, what are you doing? Like, can you imagine? Like, okay, so this can dive real deep into a couple different theological topics, but like regarding predestination and free will and all these things, like the idea that, you know, all your decisions, everything you do is mapped out ahead of time by a higher power or whatever, like that in and of itself can be a very overwhelming and somewhat daunting and oppressive thought process. That's why, you know, I don't know how to word this. I guess I'll kind of connect it to my actual Christian faith. So there's a few different sides on how this is approached that I mentioned somewhat during the reaction of like Calvinists versus Armenians. Calvinists are very much of the like side of total depravity, like predestination, all that jazz, where like you can kind of debate like the degree to which things are laid out and how much free will people actually have, or like is the end goal, like the end point, predestined, and then everything in between is, you know, like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey type stuff. It's very complicated and very confusing, and I think it's something that we're not really meant to know. But yeah, you can imagine someone tells you, hey, you're literally created to be the devil's plaything. It's like, oh dear, that sucks. And it does bring into question, like she says later in the episode, she's like, I thought what we had was real. Where, you know, she believes, like, okay, even just thinking like how small of a chance it would be for a regular person to legitimately fall in love with the devil. Just the, you know, the improbability and outrageousness of that in and of itself. Like the fact that that happened in the show is crazy and kind of lends itself to the idea of like their particular connection is strong and it's legitimate because it's so like contrary to what would theoretically actually happen. So she believed like this whole time that like they actually love each other and like they're meant for each other and this is a real connection, a real thing. And you know, that might still be true, but this news that she is receiving is kind of like throwing it in her face that maybe everything she feels towards him, you know, she still feels these things, but she's kind of being presented with the idea that everything she feels towards him might be like a construct that was made for her and given to her and not something she actually developed on her own, and like, does she actually feel that if she's not the one that did it? Like, has all her decisions been just something that was carefully placed along the road to be put in Lucifer's life? I don't know. It's very complicated. And you know, in actual Christian faith, like, there's the debate of, you know, how much free will do people have? Like, is God just aware of the things that you're gonna do? Like, does he know that you're gonna do all that jazz? Did he plan for you to do all that? Like, what, you know, I believe, you know, he's not surprised by anything we do. Like, he's, you know, has all knowledge and all foresight, and he operates outside of time and all these things. So he's you do stuff, he's not gonna be like, oh wow, threw a curveball there. Like, you're not gonna trick him into being like, what? I didn't expect you to do that. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, I know your heart. I know you. Like, that's exactly what you would have done. And you know, he knows where you'll end up. But you know, this is the situation presented to Chloe is a lot more hands-on objectness. Like, she's not, she feels as though she's not a real person, kind of, that she is just an object to be used. And you can imagine how that would be pretty upsetting. And then to have the puppeteer, or what, not puppeteer, the little child to your Barbie doll, or whatever, I don't know how, the one who has been placed in the position to play with you, just continuing to be present in your day. You can understand how she is fairly upset at him and doesn't really want to deal with him. He's trying to make things somewhat normal, and even be like, oh, you're gonna decide everything, and it's like, it's the fakeness of like, oh yeah, you get to make decisions, but it's like on a much grander cosmic scale. Like, she believes, no, like, stop giving me this fake image of making decisions if my entire life is just scripted to begin with. Like, what? Stop it. Like, I don't think he understands that that is somewhat insulting. Dan and Lucifer. Dan's like, yo, bro, you're negative as frick right now. Take this bracelet. Because, you know, I don't care if this stuff is mumbo jumbo. I don't care if it doesn't work. I need this and it helps. So I'm gonna do it. I think a lot of people might feel that way about God, in a way where they're like, you know, some people don't like agnostics, I think, is the term for not believing one way or another. I think some of them might be of the opinion of not being thrilled with a lot of the actions and things that have resulted from organized religion, but being cool with like the personal impact that faith has made in people's lives, if that makes sense. Like, they're like, okay, it may not be something that's real, it may not be a tangible thing, but it's having a legitimate effect on this person's life, so you're cool with it. I believe that it's real. You guys, if you don't have to agree with me on that, but I can feel where Dan's coming from, where he's just like, man, I just needed something. I was in a dark place and I was angry, and so I found something that is not hurting anyone. It's not, negative. It's just a positive outlet for him, and I'm on board with that. And then Lucifer accepted the bracelets. Now they're bracelet bros. I hope they say that later. Like, I hope they officially use the term, like, deem themselves bracelet bros. It's like science bros in the MCU. Let's talk about Maze. I don't know what her secret is, but she's definitely dealing with abandonment issues. Like, Chloe left, Lucifer left, Eve left. She, you know, her, as far as we know her entire existence has been like, kind of like what Chloe's feeling now, where Maze was literally created, I think, to be used by Lucifer or protect him or what, you know, do his bidding. And Maze likes that. She's fine with that. But everyone keeps abandoning her, and she's like, okay, so if my purpose is to do this stuff and now that stuff is abandoning me, like, who am I type thing? Like, why am I even here? You know, what's the use of me? She's living a rough life, and that sucks. She's gotta find, I don't even know. She's got to find some sort of purpose, but now it seems as though there's a deeper secret to her, which I'm not sure. Like, is it something that has been hinted previously? Like, if you know what it is, don't tell me, but you can give me a hint of, like, is it something I should know that has been brought up previously? Or is this like something we have yet to even be educated on at all? But Michael's like, yeah, brah. He's keeping stuff from you. He's not lying to you, but he's not telling you everything. Which, you know, it's lying by omission. Lucifer's got to get better at that. But Michael's all scarred up. That's another interesting thing. I wonder if Michael was telling the truth there. Where he's like, hey man, all the things you've done, all the failures that you have put yourself through and all your choices, that's me. Like, I didn't make you do it, but I planted the seed. That's I don't know if that's true. But he keeps calling him Samael, getting under his skin. Maybe calling him Samael was a way for him to, what's the word? What am I looking for? Knock him off kilter, disarm him, make him upset enough to where maybe he doesn't realize that he's using his lying power on him. I don't know. He could be lying to Lucifer and just he keeps calling him Samael to maybe like make him not realize what's actually happening. Who knows? But at least he can't impersonate him anymore. But there was there's a line earlier in the episode where someone talked about changing appearances. Is that a thing maybe that they could do where like Lucifer or Michael or Amenadiel even could like physically change their appearance and impersonate someone else? Who knows? I'm not sure. Yeah, this was an interesting episode. Like the emotional conflicts of the episode aren't getting resolved necessarily. I mean, Maze kind of somewhat got resolved, but then a new aspect of it was introduced. But in terms of like Chloe and Lucifer, it was kind of like left on a dreary note. This show's good, man. I like this show a lot. I'm glad that it's not just like all pure excitement, but I feel like I'm watching too many shows right now. Let me know, what did you guys think of this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, how do you feel about if you were put in Chloe's situation where you realized your whole life was like created for you in a sense? Like, how would you feel about that? Would you feel as overwhelmed as she's feeling? How do you feel about Maze? Maze is like, she feels abandoned. Like, how would you feel in her situation? How would you feel in Lucifer's situation? If you were the king of hell and you were brought up, what would you do? That, you know, there's a whole lot of, I feel like all the characters, maybe even in Maze, they're being presented with the possibility that all their choices are not their own, and their life was created and things played out outside of their control. That's got to be rough for anyone, you know, not feeling in control. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, again, let me know what you thought. If you liked my reaction or the episode in any sense, even a little bit, just a little un poco. If you liked it even a little bit or a lot, leave a like on the video. It helps a lot. It helps my videos get seen more. If you want to see more reactions to Lucifer or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Umbrella Academy or The Boys or soon Haunting of Bly Manor, subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.